we're kind of excited to show you our new Pano application. It's the Realtour 3D version. Originally, we actually built this thing using a different platform, and we had this thing progressing really well, and we got to the final stages, and it was just, the quality was horrible. And so we spent some time, and we found a solution that was a lot more difficult to build, but the quality was amazing. And we really simplified the whole process of creating the Pano 3D walkthrough. And Jana's going to take you through that in a few minutes and show you exactly how it works. If any of you are interested in playing around with it, you can send an email to Jana, and she will set you up with an account on our dev environment, and she'll create an order for you so you can go in and actually play with it, upload panos, and see if it has a good feel for you. So the other thing I'd like to mention here is that there's no charge for the Pano tool that we built. As long as you bundle it with one of your existing packages, much like you do with your aerial shoots or your Pano shoots or whatever, there will be no charge for it, but you can charge your clients for it. But Realtour will not charge you for it unless you treat it as an a la carte item. And then we'll have our standard a la carte fee for that. So with that, Jan, I'm going to turn over to you, and you can show the photogs, our brand new 3D app.
Okay, so I'm going to take the screen here. So guys, for tonight's demo, this is all set up on one of our developers' sites, and we're hoping to have it all fully tested and live tomorrow. And at that point, as Michael said, if you want to try it out yourselves, you can just send me an email, and I'll set up a fake photo shoot with Michael, my photographer. Michael's my guinea pig photographer. He's not very good. Don't tell him that. But we can order a photo shoot from him that you can play around with. So it's not a real photo shoot. It doesn't get published anywhere, but you can still use the tools. So right now we are looking at my screen, and I'm logged in as Michael, my fake photographer. And I'm just going to show you guys how you access the tool and then how you use it. So right now I'm in Michael's Shoot Manager. So everyone's familiar with this page. Even though we gave it a bit of a facelift, it's still the same page. And I've ordered a photo shoot from Michael, just like one of your clients is going to order a photo shoot from you. So I called it, #1 demo walkthrough street. So when I want to access the tool, I come into my Shoot Manager. Here's my listing. I click on it. Okay, same pop-up. I go to my Manage Photos, same as I would if I was going to upload any kind of photography. Okay, I'm still in the same photo manager, same as it always was. This is the tab for regular photos. And as you know, you always need to have at least one still image to get your virtual tour to work, because this Pano walkthrough tool is part of a virtual tour. Okay, it's an extra thing that you watch when you're in the virtual tour. Now we've added a new tab called Walkthru. So you simply click on Walkthru. Okay, and again, you're in the same photo manager. What I've done, just to save us a little bit of time, is I've gone ahead and uploaded just a bunch of panos. And Todd Camp was lucky. We were lucky enough to have Todd go out and do a photo shoot of his house, doing a whole bunch of panos. We've been working with them and using them as we've been building the tool. So basically, when you're at this part, you're just going to click on Upload, and you're going to upload your panos same as you would a normal picture. Once they show up here as the little thumbnails, you can click on them and move them around, change the order, same as you would a regular picture. You can delete the ones you don't want. This functions the exact same as just the regular Photos tab, okay? The only other thing you need to notice on this page is that we also have over here, when you're done with your walkthrough tour, and I'll remind you of this again, you can choose to start your tour with just your regular still photography, start it with a video if you have one, or you can start it with your Pano walkthrough. Okay, so that's just something new. And this it should be for a lot of you probably don't use video, but we set this up way back when we had video, so you could choose between starting with still photography or video. We've added it to this page in case you wanted to start the tour off with the Pano walkthrough. Okay, so once I've got my panos uploaded, once that happens, I'll get a link that says Pano Walkthrough Editor. I click on this and it opens up my little editor page, okay? So it's a separate tab that opens up. This way, if I need to get out of here and go back, I can always jump back to where I was. So this is a separate page that opens up. This is what our editor looks like. Now, as Michael said, we rebuilt this after having almost finished a first build, basically to make the final product just that much easier for you guys to use and that much more improved quality. But really, it's about ease of use, and you'll see as I go through how simple this is to do and how quickly you can set up some hotspots on your panos so that people can have a nice little walkthrough tour of your home going pano to pano based on going hotspot to hotspot. Okay? So I don't know how many people are familiar with having seen sort of a 3D or a pano tour. Basically, you set up a bunch of hotspots on the panos, and when the viewer clicks on a hotspot, they move into the next panel that's connected to it. So this is where we're going to set up our hotspots and connect one pano to the next pano. Okay? So basically all our panos, this is the order that I had them in back here on this page. Okay? So they're going to show up in the same order. So if I want to start with panel number 1, I simply click on panel number 1. It's the outside of Todd's house. Here it is over here in my little workspace. If I want to add a hotspot to this, I just click on Add a Hotspot. And then wherever I want my hotspot to be, I'm just going to click. So for this picture, you can see the front door is kind of hidden behind this tree. I want my first hotspot to be at the front door. So I'm just going to click. There's my first hotspot. Now, before I can finish this, the second part of this is I have to choose a destination for this hotspot. Otherwise, if someone clicks on it, they're not going to go anywhere. I want them to click on it and land on the next pano, which in this case would be the actual front door. So I'm just going to click here. There's my other little destination destination hotspot, and I click Done. Okay? So just to see what I just did, here's my first picture. If I click on Preview, I get a little pop-up. Here's my hotspot. If I click on this hotspot, I'm going to zoom in to my second pano, which is where I set the destination. Okay? All you need to do then going forward is to set up hotspots and a destination for each one of your panos. So for example, if I want to do the next one, I just click on my next pano. It shows up over here. Now I can move it around. Okay? This is functional. I can spin it around. When I'm ready to add my hotspot, add hotspot, I'm going to click into the living room, and I actually want this one to drop me right into the living room, which is right here. So that's my destination. Done. Okay, load up this one. You can see over here, I'm used to these panels. You guys are just seeing them for the first time. There's a doorway going into the kitchen, so I'm going to add a hotspot there. And then where's my kitchen? Right here. There's my destination. Done. Okay? So let's take a look. Let's go back to the beginning and click Preview again now that we have a couple hotspots. If I click Preview now, there's my first hotspot. Click on it, it zooms me into the front door. Click on this one, it zooms me into the living room. Click on this one, it takes me into the kitchen. Perfect. So that's all I've done. Now if I spin around the kitchen, I can't get out of the kitchen because I haven't set up any hotspots to get me out of the kitchen. If I want to do that, I get out of the preview, load up the kitchen. Let's spin around. Let's make a hotspot going back out to the living room. So when someone's doing their tour, they can get out of here. Add a hotspot, back out to the living room, and my link is going to be, my destination is going to be back out here by the front door. Done. Okay? So you get the idea. Really, all you're going to do is go through all of your hotspots, and you can test them out at any time by clicking on Preview. Maybe now I want to do a hotspot to go down the hallway to the laundry room. Maybe I want to get out of this one and go back into this living room. Todd's living room has a lot of doorways. There's another doorway down here to go to the kitchen, another one down here to go to a bedroom. He's got a hallway down here. So I can add maybe another 4 hotspots to this particular picture and then have all my other destinations. Now I want to show you something else. Let's go back to the home, our home one. If I need to do any editing, I can click on my hotspot. Actually, I didn't click on it. I just moused over. As soon as I moused over it, did you notice the delete? If I want to delete this hotspot, I can just click on delete and it's gone. I can also click on the hotspot and just move it. Maybe I want it over here more. So there it is. Now, if I click on this, it's going to link to the same place that I had the destination because I haven't changed my destination. This is just if I want to change my hotspot. I actually want to put it back over here. If I added a hotspot, and maybe I made a destination there, and then I was done, and then I previewed it and thought, oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why do I have a second hotspot here? Let's get out of preview. Let's go in here and delete that. Gone. Okay? And if there's at any time you want to change the order of these to make it easier for you to work, or you want to upload more pictures, you simply come back. Remember, I'm on a different tab. I come back to my Shoot Manager. I can upload another picture and it'll dump in here. I can change the order of these. Maybe I'll upload one picture and just see how long it takes, because sometimes webinar is a little slow. But let's just upload one. You can watch it upload just like a regular photo uploads. There it is right there. As soon as I've done that, I get a new link. So rather than go back to editor, I need to recreate. So I'll click on recreate. Now this can take, depending how big your images are and how many images you have, that's, it'll take a little bit longer. If I had 50 images in here and they were big, it would take a bit longer. I only have, 9 or 10, so it's not so bad. It might take 20 seconds or so. If you have a lot of pictures and it takes 20 minutes, you'll get a confirmation email coming in when it's ready to go. That way you can leave your computer and go and do other things. But just doing one shouldn't be too bad. Although, as I said, webinar, there we go. Webinar slows it down. Now I can get back to my editor and my new picture's right here. Okay? Then I can go in and click on it, add a hotspot to it, link it back, to where I want it. Okay? So I know that's pretty simple, but that's really all you need to do. It's really, it's fun to play with. I recommend whoever's interested in doing this to let me know, and I'll set you up so you can come in here and play around with it, upload some panos, add some hotspots. If you ever make a mistake, you can clear all your hotspots. When Michael and I were first monkeying around with this, we would get in over our heads, and then you get interrupted, and then you'd have a hotspot somewhere and you forgot where you put it, that kind of thing, that kind of silly thing. So sometimes we would just clear them and start again. But once you get the hang of it, like I can go through, and now I'm familiar with the layout of Todd's house now, I can go through and, add hotspots and link them all together and then have a really nice preview of my tour. And it looks really good. And once I'm done, I can click on Publish. Now this is not publishing the entire virtual tour. This is simply publishing the 3D Pano walkthrough portion that goes into my virtual tour. Once I'm ready to publish my tour, I click Publish Tour over here in the Shoot Manager, same as I do for my existing virtual tour, same as you guys are used to. If you ever need to come back in here later and make changes, upload more pictures, move around some hotspots, you are going to want to click on Publish again in here so that your tour always has the latest version of the 3D Pano walkthrough. Okay, now I do believe I have from earlier today an email with my link in it so I can show you guys when someone watches their virtual tour what it looks like from the front end. Okay, so here's my tour. Now I chose to start my tour with the Pano walkthrough. So as soon as the tour is loaded, it's going to stop here. This was my first Pano. Remember? So here's my Pano of the house, full screen. I only put one hotspot, and that was to get me into the front door. Remember, I set up this hotspot so I can get into the living room. I set up this hotspot to go in the kitchen. And I think that's all I did. Oh no, I set up one more hotspot to get out of the kitchen, back into the living room. So obviously I need to go back in here and set up a whole lot more hotspots and upload more pictures, and then I can do a walk through this entire house. And the little controls down here at the bottom are kind of nice. You can click on this and just skip picture to picture, so the person viewing it can just go picture to picture. Okay, you can also close this so it's not full screen. Okay, and I can exit 3D at any time I want, and I'm back in the tour. And if I only uploaded one picture, as you guys maybe noticed, or two pictures. I can come back in and play my tour, and it'll play the pictures, the still photography. I can stop the tour and go into 3D and get back into my 3D tour. And that is basically it in a nutshell. I know that was really fast, but like I said, we redid this, which was a little more work on our end, but it gives you guys a much easier interface to work with and to set these up.
The quality of the tour will depend on how many panels you do. You can actually make it so that it's a virtual 3D walkthrough if you did enough panels, or you can do the quick and dirty and just do a few panels and quickly go through a house. So that option is yours, and basically you can build the product, the panel product, in any way that you want and then present it to your client. So you can reach any price point that you want with your clients. in setting this up. So you could do the quick and dirty, or you can do the in-depth pano and literally do a few panos of every room and create that lifelike 3D experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys saw me I basically just added one hotspot per picture, but I mean, like I said, depending on the house and depending how much time you want to spend and how much money you want to charge your clients to do it, you could add another 5 or 6 hotspots and just move into the middle of the living room and then have a pano of the middle of the living room. But that's totally up to you.
And with this tool, you can use your existing camera equipment.
Yes, that's the other big thing. You don't have to buy anything special. You guys can use what you've got. There's another one.
So, any questions from the floor?
Well, Michael, is it really important to start out facing north and go in a clockwise pattern for this, or any kind of process like that?
Good question. Actually, you don't need to face in any particular direction. You can see the way that Todd set up his panos. He's got pretty much the center of the pano, or the primary focus of the pano centered.
Mm-hmm.
So he started his pictures to the extreme of the primary focus of the image, and you'll quickly pick that up. My suspicion is Todd gets used to doing that, so he starts his panos from a particular spot every time, because he wants to focus on the primary part of the image, but don't confuse that with north, south, etc., which is what some of the other products do. We've eliminated that just to make it really, really simple.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
I had a quick question. This is Misha. I had a quick question just about linking the hotspot with its destination. Somehow I'm not quite getting that. How does it know where the next destination is?
Oh, okay. Well, that's just because for every hotspot you create, you have to pick a destination before you can move on to the next one. So for example, let's go back into this living room picture that Todd has here. So let's go down this hallway. So let's say I want to go down this hallway because there's a bedroom at the end. So I want to add a hotspot there. So I click Add a Hotspot. Now I have to create my hotspot. I want to go down there. So I just click. There's my hotspot. Before I can move on, there's no done button. I can't do anything else until I choose my destination. Now I know that this picture right here is the bedroom at the end of the hall. So I'm going to click here. There's a little mini hotspot. You might not be able to see it on the webinar, but it's here. As soon as I've clicked as soon as I've clicked my destination, I can click Done. Now this one, exactly. This one is now linking to the next one.
That's super simple. It's so simple.
Exactly. And if I don't want to, if I change my mind, I've still got this one selected. I can mouse over and delete this because I don't want it anymore. It automatically deletes that one and it deletes the destination one. They're linked together. So I don't have to delete the target. I only have to delete the initial one and it will delete the target as well.
Brilliant.
Yes, it's really simple to do this.
Yeah. Super simple to use. Even Michael and I can use it, which is saying something for the two of us.
Even Janet can do it.
Exactly. Barely, but I can do it. And you guys are photo people, so you'll be amazing at it.
Is it your suggestion to merchandise this as part of a package rather than a la carte? It seems like to me that some realtors might just want this rather than to have a set of still photos to go with it.
Actually, that's not true at all. Every listing is going to require photos.
Okay.
They need to upload those to the MLS. Most people are doing flyers, etc. So having single shot photos is going to be a requirement, and packaging this as in a bundle with still photos makes it cheaper for you because you don't have to pay the a la carte fee.
Do you call it a walkthrough pano? Is that the way to describe it in a package?
The client will see it represented as 3D. Jenna, if you go to the virtual tour.
Where did I have that open here? Yeah, we've got it under 3D up here. So you can call it, I mean, really you can call it what you want. No one sees the back end. Only you guys, the photographers, have access to the tool. And we just called it a walkthrough because it kind of the finished result is like a nice walk through the property. But you guys could market it as 3D or something else if you want to.
That's what I would market it as 3D. 3D walkthrough.
Okay.
It's what the industry is terming this product. They're describing this product as 3D. In reality, what it is just panels linked together. But somebody that started this way back when referred to it as 3D, and it's caught on in the industry, so I would market it as 3D. And the quality issue is going to be depending on how many panels you do, because that's where your time is. Every panel you take takes time, and so the more panels that you take, the better the quality is going to be, and of course you can charge more for it. But that's up to you. You can do this really easily by just taking a few panels, or you can really get into it and take a whole pile of panels. When Todd did his house, he took 36 panels.
Yeah, I think 36, yeah. But we found that some of them were a bit repetitive, so we didn't use them all. And we also found that having too many kind of confused us when we were setting up our hotspots. So I think Michael and I found it most effective to just keep it a nice, simple tour that just flows through.
I'd like to rephrase that. It really confuses Shannon to do 36.
It does.
I like the 36 because it gives you far more detail. And the first go-around was kind of confusing. So both Jan and I had a little bit of difficulty setting this up. But with this new version, it is so simple to do. That's not going to be an issue for you guys. Once you get a little bit familiar with it, you will just breeze through this. So it won't take you long to create the production. It's just going to be producing the required number of panels to do a really nice product for your clients.
I was talking to Todd earlier today about it. He mentioned that I asked him if it was the same kind of pano that we were doing currently, and he said, well, it was a spherical pano. So you would need to take a shot of the ceiling also. If you, I have a 1735. He told me the 17 would work fine, but I would have to probably take more clicks and the ceiling. Do you have a lens you recommend? Is a 17 good enough for, you know?
I would actually talk to Todd about this. He is the expert in the field as far as Realtour goes.
Okay. He told me to ask you, Michael. But I mean, he does have some suggestions. He uses an 8, and he says he intends to purchase another 8 that Nikon has just put out too. But I know he uses an 8mm, and you know, of course, he says you just get 4 clicks and you're done for each pano. So as opposed to
that's the reason he does it. It's 4 clicks and you've got 360. And
right.
When I was a photographer, I went the other way. I took a whole pile of shots,
right.
And it took me forever to do it. But I felt the quality was better that way. But Todd,
right?
through the years, has that's not necessarily true anymore. The way Todd is doing it with the 8mm lens is it makes it much easier to do panos, and there are some problems with it unless you take the time to do it right. And I have never shot panos with an 8mm, so that's why I say Todd is the resident expert, because the less amount of work you have to do, the more efficient you become. As long as you can maintain the quality, the stitching quality, then It's the way to go.
I've been with Todd when he's done Panos before, and it is, you have to be a little bit more careful, but it is a lot faster because you just do 4 clicks and you're on to the next one. So
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it saves you time through the whole process. Stitching 4 rather than 8 is twice as fast.
back into, yeah.
Hey, Michael, this is Rich. I do have one note on that, as I work with Todd quite a bit. I'm currently using a 10.5 millimeter lens, and I'm shooting 360s with it, and I'm just taking 6 shots. Now, the one thing I've done to avoid taking a shot of the ceiling, that created some issues with stitching, is if you can go down towards the floor on one of the panels that Todd shot, you'll see we started using this. It looks like a chrome ball, and this is something we set up in Photoshop, and actually we've been using that for advertising as a possibility for the realtors. If they're interested, we can put their web information, phone number, whatever on that chrome ball. It's just a reflection of the pano. Now what I've done is I've added the same ball feature to the ceiling, so I would not have to take that upshot and create that, because I do have, with my 10.5, I do have a small hole in the ceiling about the same size as what we've created with the tripod on the floor. Right. And that's how I've got around it, shooting 360 panos with using my 10.5 and only taking 6 shots.
All right, so that basically answers your question, Al, is that the 8 millimeter is going to be able to capture the entire ceiling, and if you deviate from that, then you're going to have a hole in the ceiling like you do in the floor. But once again, is that going to be an issue for your clients? I don't know.
Yeah, I've been using it, using the 360s on Facebook with some of my realtors, because that seems to be a new up and coming trend for them. And the ones I've been using it with, they seem to like the possibilities of adding their information on the ball on the ceiling and the floor. I don't honestly know how many people pan the photo up that high or down that low, but it is an option there that, that's another, add-on if you want to do that for your client.
And that's just a Photoshop script that you created.
Yeah, that's all that is. It's a Photoshop script, and like this one you see on Todd's here, he has that on all his. It's really easy after you've created it to run all the photos through it. Now on mine, it goes through one more process where I actually have to do the same script, except it's up on the ceiling shot.
Right. So any of you, if you're not familiar with creating those Photoshop scripts, it's really a very simple process to do, and it's simply just creating, it's just an automatic process that you create that you run every one of your panels through. So it's really easily done.
That sounds like a good solution. Rich, you say that if you do shoot the ceiling, if you have a hole in it, it's a little bit longer on the back end to stitch it together?
Yeah, I originally started doing my 6 shots, and then I'd take the camera and turn it and take a shot straight up at the ceiling. And as far as stitching, I just ran into, some of them was next to impossible to try to create enough control points to get it to stitch properly. So I actually sat down with Todd and we started looking at it, trying to figure out, it was all about how can I save time on the back end. Sure. And we decided, shoot, it's a small enough hole, I'll just create another chrome ball on the ceiling, even in the sky. In my outside panels, you look up in the sky, you'll see the reflective ball up there. And what I've been doing is I've been putting my website on there if the realtor they don't want their website on it. But that's the way that we got around it, using this 10.5. I'm kind of like you. I'd like to eventually get to the 8, because it does do a really nice job with doing the ceiling and everything. And those stitch together real well using the 8.
Let's see. Okay.
Now I'm curious, is there going to be for the client, because I don't always see it on their end, is there going to be a link that they can use that's just the the 3D walkthrough?
That's something we talked about internally, but we never,
Like in here.
set that up at this point in time.
Yeah, like right there you have, it's
Yeah.
the virtual tour. I'm just curious if will they be able to somehow download just the walkthrough? Because like I said, at least a lot of my realtors have started using Facebook quite a bit, and they really like to use, they'd like to use something like that, just the walkthrough, I think, on Facebook as part of their marketing.
Right. We haven't built that,
Why
but
would they not put a full virtual tour on Facebook?
Right.
I don't know. But if they don't want it, I mean, right now it's not a standalone. Right now it's built into the tour. But we could look into that. I mean, if it's as easy as just putting a link in here, like having walkthrough and then click here to, I'll make a note of that and we'll see what it entails.
Yeah, just a thought. I mean, that's kind of what I started using the my 360s for. And of course, it's not the nice walkthrough. And Michael, I will say, this is awesome compared to the previous version, because I was at Todd's place when he was trying that, and this is like night and day. This is really a big jump forward. So, but yeah, the Facebook, the 360s, I just started loading panos in there, and you can't walk through the house, but at least you can pan the image and look all around the room. So
Yeah, I think that creating that link is fairly easily to do. We discussed
just food for
it.
thought. Yep.
We discussed it at one point through one of our development sessions, and actually we said we're going to do it, but for whatever reason Janet forgot. So I'm blaming it.
Yeah. Thrown under the bus. There you go. Yeah, probably, because I mean, it would just play in this, like this preview pop-up window is not in a tour right now, and I can go through and tour through my little hotspots. So I think it would just be a player like this. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem. So once again, if it's something that you guys want, we can certainly do it for you, and we can do that for you relatively easily, I believe. We'll find out tomorrow. So maybe what I'll do is I'll have Jana respond to all of you to let you know whether we can create that link for you. Yeah, it's amazing. The quality is really good. The thing I like about it is that it loads so fast, and you still get that great quality.
Full screen.
And the thing about it is you can charge for it. You can charge your clients a lot of money to do this. So you can actually set up some really interesting packages with this for your clients. All right, so if any of you would like to try this out, just send an email to Jana, and she will actually order a fake photo shoot for you, and then you can go in and try it out and basically see if it's going to work for you. Cool.
Now, you said this would go live if your trials and everything go okay in a day or two or something like that, or?
Actually, I believe it's going to go live tomorrow. I think Jana's done all her testing, and she's pretty comfortable with it. It's just a matter of we'll put it live tomorrow, and then we'll go through the testing system again. And if there's no issues, then we're good to go. If we find some bugs or something, then of course we might have to take it down. But we won't know that till tomorrow.
Yeah. Definitely within a day, 2 at the most, I would say.
But it's scheduled for tomorrow. All right. Any other questions before we adjourn? All right, then. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. And if you have any questions about this, you can either send an email to Jan or myself.
Great.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good night.
Great.
Thank you.